In this video, we're going to explore how you can combine two VLOOKUPs or in one, or making a double VLOOKUP function, or better known as a nested VLOOKUP function. So basically a VLOOKUP in a VLOOKUP. So let me show you first of all why would you do this, or to understand why. And this is a quite common situation. Sometimes you have different tabs together, but in these tabs you cannot have the same data, or this is what we call to be very efficient with the databases, that you will keep it as minimum as possible without having redundant data. For example, in this case, we have a sales order ID tab or sales tab with the order ID, employee ID, company, and the order amount. And we have here a employee tab with employee ID, first name, last name, and birth date. So let's look here how they look like. So we have here the employee ID. You see the ID numbers, and then the first name matching and their position and whatever. Then we have here the sales tab, and the sales tab has the employee ID record. So the sale is here done, or this is the first sale, is done by employee ID number 1003, and you can see the order amount and the company. However, you don't see the first name here, but we do find the first name here. And this is what we call making it more efficient by connecting them with a key. And this is the key here, 1003 and 1003, meaning that this is a order made by John, and same for this one here. So this is a quite common situation. However, how can we solve this? Well, with a double VLOOKUP, you can start to work on that. So let me show you exactly here. So this is the key, and this key will be matched here together. So what we're going to do eventually is to connect these all together like that, and in the backway form. So we have here the order ID or the sales ID, the sales order, let's say number 1. So if we say number 1, we need to have this here. So we're going to select this. So this is our starting point, and then we're going to search who or which employee ID is matching with the order ID, and from there on we go back to the employee ID tab to search in here for the first name. Does it sound complicated? Perhaps. Let me break it down for you so you understand exactly. But once you understand this, it will become useful, and then you can work with multiple tabs and creating quite complicated structures together. Because this is very common in computer programming. And if you have a database from computer programmers, you might experience this exact situation. So step 1, let me be very clear here. Use VLOOKUP with the sales order ID plus employee ID, meaning we are going to search for that one. We want to know which employee ID is matched with the order ID. Once we got that, number 2, connect the sales to employee tab. And we do this with the VLOOKUP as well. And then here, once connected, of course, which is just the up one is the VLOOKUP, it is then find the employee name matching the employee ID. And that's basically what we're going to do. We're going to do this with the VLOOKUP. And this will be our starting point. We'll be able here to enter a sales order, and then we can see the name who made this order, and of course a VLOOKUP for the total order value. Alright, let's do first our nested VLOOKUP or double VLOOKUP. So let's do first basic VLOOKUP here, because that's the starting point. So what we need to do is step 1, we need to get the VLOOKUP and match with the employee ID. That is this one here. Let's search for the employee ID who made the sale. Then we go to the sales tab. We select this here, because we have the VLOOKUP value we search, number 1, and then we select the table array, which is this table array here, comma, and then what we add is here the column index number. So this is column 1, column 2, column 3, and column 4, because that's our table array, consists of 4 columns. So we say here, because we need to extract the value in the second column, we say number 2, comma. Then we have the range lookup value. Do you want approximate or exact match? In our case, always exact match, 90% of the time exact match. So we say false. And if you're not sure, by default, go to exact match. Alright, so we have the value now here, and that's the one we need. Once we got that, then we need to get the employee ID. And with that employee ID, we will get the first name. So let's type in here VLOOKUP. And here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to just type in 1003. Yes, because that's the value here, basically. Comma. And then we say the table array. Let's go to employee. Select this here. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's 8 columns in this here. So the column index number is number 2 because we need only the first name. And then again, false as a value and confirm. So now we have this. So this is correct. So if I say here number 2, it's still John. Number 3, you will see now this is the value. And of course here what we have to do maybe is to make a reference, but I don't want to do that yet. I'll show you why. If I put in 2500, it's Julie. Is it correct? You can see 1003. We had 2 sales orders from John, both 1003, and 2 sales orders from Julie. So now what we need to do is basically this. This number needs to be inserted here. As you can see here, we already put the code in here, so it makes it very simple. So what we do is we just copy this piece of text here, this code, escape, go back here to Julie, replace the 2500 with our code here. VLOOKUP, you can see everything, enter. Now we've got this, and then now we basically are done. So I'm going to cut this piece of code, escape, and here I will paste that in here. There we are. Alright, so now if I put in number 1, that's John, number 2 is John, number 3 is Julie. Alright, so what if I would change this? So if you want to change it to a different employee ID, you can see here, let's add up James, 919. Alright, let's go to the results, and let's go here to number 2. Now we see James. Alright, so now we do the order value, which will be very easy. We look up, and then we select this, because the order value is the order amount here, comma, table array, we go back to the sales tab, select these, comma, and then we have the 4th column, so 1, 2, 3, 4, so we say 4th column, comma, no, comma, false, no need for, we need the exact match, there you are. So now we have this, so this is basically the way you can do it, and you can do even more. So let's remove this first, then as a bonus, because this is quite fun, to be honest, making Excel dashboards is really fun. And let's make this a bit more nice or more professional by using a drop down function here. Yes, so how do you make a drop down function? Well, we go here, let's delete this first. So now you have here not available, and we can solve this as well. We will be solving that as well. So we make here a drop down, so let's go here to, let's see here, data. Select here on the tab data, and then we go here to data validation. And then we select here the list, and then we select the source list. So where can we find this data? Well, let's click on this icon here. Now we can select the source data is basically the sales IDs here. All of those. Confirm by pressing enter, and then you say OK to confirm again. Now we have a drop down here. We can select number 1, and then number 2, and number 3, number 4. As you can see here, as you can see here, oh, I don't know what happened here, I guess. Oh, okay, that works again. Fine, no problem. Just copy and pasting it. So what you can see here now is you create basically a mini dashboard here. And this is really fun. So let's solve one issue here, and that is the 0. Oh, that's not allowed. Let's delete the value here. Now you get NA for not available. So how can we solve this? Well, simple. Let's put in here one more function, which is called the if error. If error. So then we put in this in a formula, which says value. This is the entire formula, comma, if the value is not available, or NA like here, we say quotation, quotation, and close, enter. What happened now is basically what we said is the following. We said do not adjust anything or show nothing at all. Same here. If error, let's see if I do that, type it correctly. Yes. Alright, same story here. Comma, then double quotation, and close. Enter. So now we have this. And you can see here, and maybe you want to say, well, I don't want to adjust this here. So what I'm going to show you is something fun as well. As you can see, you can go very, very deep in this. And that's really the fun part of the entire Excel. So let's make this a gray. So we gray this. And the reason why we gray this is, or at least this is a common pattern what I highly recommend you to do. Parts that you don't want people to adjust. Because sometimes, let's be honest, let's say there are 5 or 6 people managing this template. Some people have no idea that this is a drop down, or they have no idea that they have to put in data in here. So what they do is they will probably just type in here, and what happens the moment they type here, as you can see, the formula starts to break, and then you have a problem. So what you want to do is you want to force them to only select this and block these here, so they're not allowed to touch this. How can we do that? Let me show you exactly a way. Alright, to do this, let's go to, we need the format. Yes, alright, so I'm just looking at it. So what we're going to do is we're going to lock the cells into place. Format cells here. You can see here the cells are being locked. By default, Excel locks all these cells. Yeah, so anywhere where I select, they're already set and locked. However, it's not activated yet. Why is it not activated? Because we didn't protect the sheet yet. The moment we activate the protection, then all the cells are locked. Yeah, so I didn't do anything yet, so just I will only select here this and I say protect the sheet and I put a code in here. The test, oh sorry, we're putting your password. Make sure you remember the password. If you don't remember the password, you're in big trouble because you cannot retrieve it. There's no forget password word option on Excel. So you can see all of these options here, but I will ignore all of these. No need to adjust. Let's confirm this. And now, as you can see, once we select this, you see here you get a problem here. Sorry, you're not allowed to adjust. What if I want to type in something? No, not allowed. Anywhere. Even here, not allowed. That's fine. I only want to unlock this one. These here I want to block. So they're not allowed to touch this. Or if they touch it, they will get an error warning. How to do that? Well, by default, everything is locked. So what we need to do is unlock the cell we don't want to be locked. Makes sense, right? Alright, select here format. Unprotect the template or the tab. But then we say here, test, or that's the password, confirm. Alright, so now you can see again our tab has been highlighted again. It just was grayed out. And now what I want to do is I want to adjust this one here. So we say format, lock cells, no, uncheck this. So now, if I select here, it is not locked. And what happened is now we can adjust. So if we now start to lock the cells, we continue, because if I, well, before I show you that, I will show you, I select somewhere else. You can see this is still locked. And if I click anywhere else, because by default all the cells are locked, alright, so then you get the point now. So now confirm this, lock it, we put in test, and we don't give them any specific options, not allowed, okay, confirm. Alright, so now we have this part here locked. We select this, and you can see now, wow, we are working, and it works beautifully. However, you can see here, and maybe you see this formula here. We are not allowed to adjust the formula, but we are showing the formula. And I can imagine, especially if you make these temps, maybe you just don't want to show the formula. You don't want to show the formula, no problem at all. Why don't we just hide the formula from any viewer? So they cannot adjust it, they can, because right now they cannot adjust, but they can see. And what we want to do now is, they're not allowed to adjust at all, and they're also not allowed to see anything. So how to do that? Well, let me show you another trick. And then we click here on unprotect the sheet, and then we say test. And as you, before I press enter here, look at here, my template or my tab has been locked. You can see this lock here. Alright, confirm this. Now it's unlocked, and now you don't see the lock anymore. And now you can still see, and now if we adjust, we are allowed to adjust, as you can see. So now what we want to do is we want to hide the functions here, or the formulas that we have here. How do we do this? Select these, the cells that you want to hide, click on format cells. And once you select the format cells, yeah, alright, it's loading. Click on protection. You can see here it's already locked. If I confirm that it's locked, but it's not hidden. We hide them, confirm this, alright. Once confirmed, format cells, and lock cells, well, this cell should not be locked. Everything is already fine. Protect the sheet. Confirm this by putting a password, any password you desire. I'm doing tests as a simple password. Alright. There we are. Now, if I select this, I click this works, but if I click here in Julie, I don't see anything here. I have no idea what is the formula. This is your own secret sauce now, and it is hidden from anyone unless they are able to access it by unlocking or unprotect the sheet. And as you can see right now, you can see everything has been grayed out. We're not allowed to adjust anything here. And this is a way eventually how you can create complete dashboards for people, for customers, for companies, or maybe for your staff or managers, but you don't want them to do any mistakes by pressing wrong buttons or deleting accidentally the passwords or the formulas. So if you like tips and tricks like these, and if you like to make dashboards like this, and this is really fun, we can go almost endless by making these designs and everything. And if you have any suggestions on what you want to see, let me know in the comment section. But if you like these kind of videos and enjoy them, and I hope you do, because I really enjoy this, subscribe to my channel.